Hello, everyone. My name is Jaria Patterson, and today I will be discussing the 6 stages of change in behavior modification. This is a prominent topic in this field of psychology since a person's aptitude for change is important in the process of seeking treatment. This series of change was created by James Prochaska and Carlo Di Clemente as a framework to describe the 5 phases through which one progresses through health-related behavior change. And how does this all begin? Well, in general, change is inevitable, but for particular problem behaviors, one may be reluctant to change, or if one isn't aware of their current state's need for change, the willingness to change becomes the question. The first step of this series of change is referred to as pre-contemplation. Here, a person is resistant to change and may not consider making a change at all. Typically, one will deny responsibility or even justify their behavior, but it has been determined that in order to progress from this stage, one must come to realize that their environment cannot sustain their lifestyle, especially if there are direct requests to change. Therefore, this will lead a person to the next stage called contemplation. In this stage, a person is seriously taking into account the need and/or possibility of changing, but it is viewed in ambiguity and change is set to happen within a vague time frame. Common thinking patterns like when the time is right or I'm almost there and ready to change can be felt. However, it is likely that a person may remain in this stage out of fear of failure, but eventually one will make the decision that change is necessary, which will lead a person closer toward the next stage, preparation. Here, a person will gear themselves up to get ready to change within the next month. Their motivation for changing is reflected by statements such as, I've got to do something about this. This is serious. Something has to change. What can I do? As stated by the School of Medicine within Loma Linda University. Subsequently, wanting to change can, with effort, lead a person to the next stage, which is the stage of action. In this stage, a person is fully committed to the concept of changing their lifestyle, and this stage can last for months. Of course, it does require a copious amount of effort before a great purpose. At the same time, a person is likely to substitute healthier behaviors for their former, less healthy and addictive problem behaviors. This is referenced in psychology as a term called countering, where a person is able to implement various ways of avoiding temptation. Furthermore, after such long-term progression and sustaining of one's mental and physical health in this productive action stage, a person will move into the next stage, which is called the maintenance stage. This stage is actually characterized by change continuing after the first goal has been achieved. A serious effort of maintaining one's lifestyle is essential, as this step is referred to as the maintenance stage, of course. Moreover, a client's change should last a lifetime, and it is said in the book created by Prochaska, Di Clemente, and John Norcross, called Changing for Good, that long-term effort and a revised lifestyle is best for ensuring progress during this stage. This is because after going through these stages of change, it is hopeful that a person becomes confident enough to allow this change to last a lifetime, which pretty much is the feeling of the next and the last stage. This last stage, called the termination stage, is when the ultimate goal is achieved and relapse is, of course, still possible, as it always is and will be. An individual has found themselves at the termination phase in this series of change. Worthy of noting, it is common for a person to not arrive at this final stage upon attempting change for the first time. Often, it can take numerous tries. But of course, once a person does get here, everything is long awaited and worth the while. Although rooted in foundational principles and success has been possible through the use of Prochaska and De Clemente's series of change, some criticisms do of course remain. An article done by two students at the Louisiana State University in the Health Sciences Department have stated that there's difficulty in accurately assessing which stage a person is in, there is a lack of consideration for social context, and there is an assumption of linear progression through these stages, which doesn't always reflect reality. Moreover, it is imperative that a clinician be efficient in their methods of treating clients, whether it be during assessment, measurements of psychological evaluation, or just in weekly therapy visits. Being educated enough to properly tend to your client during any of the 6 stages is the primary goal of any therapist in these cases. Here, we can ensure that our client is putting forth their best effort while the clinician is also. And as there are questions about everything, the common questions that arise when discussing the willingness to change and these steps are: what can we do if a person shows resistance to change? How can we address a relapse? What are the potential obstacles one may face when trying to implement change? And how can we measure a person's progression? All fair to ask, designed to measure various things. These questions are solely for the purpose of making sure that the series of change is rooted in valid and reliable concepts. Here are my references used in this presentation, and thank you all for listening. I am Jaria Patterson, and this is my presentation on the series of change. Thank you.